I don't have anything to call you at all.
What's up, Oscar fever?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my Super Bowl.
And now you're all done with all the award shows until next year.
I know, it feels sad.
Thank God.
I hate it. Yeah, I was so excited to watch the Oscars red carpet, and then they had like no red carpet. E didn't do it, and then there was some random pre-show on YouTube, and then there was a little bit of a pre-show on ABC, but it was lame. But then after the Oscars on YouTube, there was a Vanity Fair the Vanity Fair after party arrivals thing, and that was like all different outfits, and it was really long. So I got my hit.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I got my drug after the show.
We might bounce back to this, but last night I did a live for our Patreons, 10 Tenney live.
Yeah.
And the first thing I talked about, because I know you weren't there because you were still watching Oscars when it started, was it is insane to me that I couldn't watch the Oscars.
It was on Channel 7.
I don't have an antenna on any of my TVs.
Okay, well, that's like a personal problem for you.
But I'm saying, like, there used to be a time when something was on TV, you just turned your TV on and watched it.
Okay, but I have a smart TV like you have a smart TV, and I have like a $13 antenna that plugs into your fucking USB port. And so I get all of the air channels. So all you really have to do is do bare minimum.
The little coaxial where you plug in an antenna on my TV is broken, which is why I don't have an antenna on it.
I like how you like make a gripe and then you say why it's your fault that you can't do the thing that you're thinking about. Okay, cool story. If I can figure out how to do something, then you can figure out how to do it.
I just mean there used to be a time back in the day when I was a boy, if something was on TV, you just turned on TV and watched it. Now I have to figure out if I have that streaming service. If I don't have, do you have it? Can I share with you? I used to just turn on my TV and it was there.
Okay, well, it hasn't been that way for a hot 20 years. So
30.
Seriously, just gonna have to get with the times. One of the awards shows this season was on Netflix, and I like how it was rewatchable. Like, that's where I think they're failing, is if the Oscars were on one of the streamers right now, which I don't know if it is. It might be on Hulu or something, but it's probably not. But it should be rewatchable.
Yeah. What I was going to say is, do you remember when they stopped antenna television and they like gave everybody in America a free digital box to put on your TV?
I do. And I don't even think those barely worked.
They really didn't, because then they just started building the digital converter inside of the TVs.
Yeah, that's the thing. I have that antenna. Like, your air channels should work on your smart TV, kind of, but sometimes it doesn't come in that good, so I have to use the weird antenna that I bought. This is boring.
It's not to me. It makes me mad.
I don't want to talk about antennas. But though, Oscars were cute. I thought Poor Things was like my favorite movie of the year, pretty much. I watched it like a week ago, and Emma Stone won for Best Actress. Whatever, some kind of warning for y'all. If you haven't watched Poor Things yet, don't watch it with anybody that you're not super comfortable with, because there's a lot of sex in it. So don't watch it with your parents, or don't watch it with like somebody that like has a big crush on you and you will never sleep with them. That would be really awkward. Legitimately, when it was done, I'm like, that might be one of the best movies I've ever watched in my entire life.
Did it make you love Mark Ruffalo more than you already did?
It's hard to quantify my love for him, and it really just blasted into a new level. He is so cute and funny in it, and he's so cute and funny. And that's crazy that he's like really having a renaissance. I'm like, y'all are really late to the party, because he has been cute and funny and perfect for literally 30 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I wish he would have won. Robert Downey Jr. won. It's fine. Yeah, Poor Things is gorgeous. It's very, very weird. The guy who directed Killing of a Sacred Deer directed this. He has a very different, weird vision. He will do whatever the fuck he wants. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to be moral. It doesn't have to be what you want it to be. He's making whatever the fuck he wants, and that's why I like it.
That's why we like films, by people who make films and they're like, well, I'm going to make it this fucking way. Yep. There you go.
Yeah, they have no responsibility to you to be like whatever you would do in your own life, or anything that even makes sense.
I get into fights with people all the time because, you know, Darren Aronofsky, the director.
Yeah, he makes weird fucking movies too.
He made a movie about Noah's Ark. It's got giant rock monsters in it.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, it's like, fuck it. I'm going to have the snake is going to talk.
Yep.
And it's going to have giant rock monsters in it because it's about Noah's Ark.
Nobody can tell him that he can't do that. It's his movie.
Yep.
But yeah, it was good. It was, I don't know. The I'm Just Ken part was sick. Ryan Gosling saying I'm Just Ken.
I watched it on YouTube.
That was cute.
It was very fucking cute.
I know. He did a good job. He knocked it out of the park.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you did 10 Tenney in our Patreon live show. You're going to do every month on the 10th. This is your like second or third one.
I think this is my third or fourth.
I feel like the first one you did was a New Year's one, so that wasn't really 10 Tenney, but it was. It wasn't, but it was.
It was very fun. Answered questions, talked to people, showed off all the bunch of stuff in my room.
Yeah.
I think it was very fun, even though I had a stomach ache.
You always have a stomach ache lately. You have to go to the doctor.
Oh, it's only been like a week and a half.
No, it's been like 3 years.
First of all, the Tennies are notoriously bad bellies.
I know my stomach always hurts too.
My sister came because I did an event in Ann Arbor this weekend called Potographs, which raises money for animal shelters. But my sister came to it with my brother-in-law, and I was talking to her about my bad stomach. And I said, but you know what's crazy is how your mind adjusts, because I'm like, oh, my stomach is hurt for a week. Like maybe I should go to the doctor. And then I started to think back when I ate meat. My stomach hurt every day for like 25 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now I get a stomach ache like once a year and I'm like, oh, should I go to the doctor? No, I should have gone to the doctor when I was literally a stomach ache every single day from drinking whole milk and eating cheap beef.
That is true. I haven't eaten meat in countless, like literally my whole adult life. And I still remember how you would feel full for honestly like 3 days.
Yes.
Disgusting.
I want you to guess at this though about my sister going to a paranormal convention.
Oh God, what?
Okay, so she did her walk around vendor tables and stuff.
Did anybody know that was your sister when she was walking around?
Yeah, I introduced her. And then
Nice.
of course everybody talked about what great hair she has and how I'm bald.
It's true.
She's got the best hair.
Best hair.
So my sister bought 4 things. What were they? It was all from the same vendor.
Candles.
Bracelets.
No, nice. It was one of the two. I like it going 2 ways.
She literally already had like 40 on her one arm, and then she was like, ooh, bracelets. And my brother-in-law was like, here she goes. And then she went over and bought like 4 or 5 bracelets.
She's whimsical.
She is a whimsical natural witch.
I know, I love her.
Then they took me to the bar, got me drunk, and dropped me off 10 minutes before my lecture.
Nice.
I had to start my lecture by telling people I was a little drunk.
That's normal.
I usually don't really drink before my lecture.
I know, I'm just joking.
I know, but I'm saying like I can handle it. I'm just saying.
You can have like one.
Yeah.
One is the sweet spot. And you have one before and then you have one the whole time during. That's the sweet spot.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, that'll be us in April in Ohio.
It is very fun. There were lots of friends there. It was me, Heather Taddy, Dustin Perry, Richard Estep, Barry Fitzgerald, and then all the friends were there.
All the peeps.
All the peeps.
Yeah, you called me in your hotel room and you said you were watching Friends and then you were saying lines and then you were like, what episode is it? And then I would tell you what episode it was by what the line was.
I would say Joey is sitting on a couch and he's got some popcorn, and Jennifer Aniston just walked in with a cheerleader and outfit on, and then you would just tell me the rest of the whole episode.
Literally the whole synopsis of the whole episode. I'm like, well, Rachel's trying to get a date with this guy that comes into her work. She has to dress up like a cheerleader because she says that always works.
Too funny.
I know, stupid. And then it was funny. That call was so chaotic, BS, because we started talking about Friends, and then you told me about the Kanopy app so I could watch free movies from local libraries.
Yeah.
So everybody has to get the Kanopy app. Kanopy with a K.
Kanopy.
And you put in your
library card number, and you can watch like, I don't know, 5 or 6 movies a month for free.
Yeah. So I did that while you were on the phone. And then I told you about this Facebook group that I'm in called Our Old House. And some person said that they found somebody living in their walls, and you're like, that's not real. And I'm like, I choose to believe it's real. The post was so scary. They're like, I live in this house and there was a dresser and some papers in the attic, and now the dresser's gone and I'm always here and the person still has access to the house and I know they're here. And I'm like, ew. Gross.
I told you, I don't know if you remember, bring it up again. I don't know how long ago I talked about it, but I had that case where that woman thought that she had a ghost in her house. Mm-hmm. And what it ended up being was the person on the other side of her duplex had cut around the connector door between her side of the duplex and his. And when she was gone, he would just push the door and the frame out and go in her house and like eat her food and lay in her bed. And then before she came home, he'd just slide the door shut and it would look like it was locked and you couldn't get through.
That's everybody's worst nightmare, literally. Like I've seen videos of that, people doing that in hotel rooms now too, like through the closet. Like, nope.
Yep.
Nope. And there's Katie's been talking about it. Apparently, there's like a series right now on, I want to say Lifetime. It's on streaming somewhere, but it's called Phrogging. Like Phrogging is living in people's houses without them knowing. That's fucking disgusting.
It's so weird.
So that's your new nightmare for the day, guys. Phrogging.
When I bought my house had been on the market for like 2.5 years. And the real estate agent brought me over to the house. And you know how houses, when they have a little lockbox on the front door?
Yeah.
This house didn't have one, but the front door was locked. And he was like, oh, that's weird. He's like, I wonder how we get in. We went to the side door. There was no lockbox and the side door was locked. And we came around and the back sliding glass door was just open.
Ew.
And so we walked in and he was like, we should just stand here for a second and make sure the house is empty because like it hasn't been locked for 2 years and no one's lived here for 2 years.
What the fuck?
And I still got kind of worried that like maybe someone lived here for a couple years when it wasn't owned. And like, even though I've lived here for 13 years now, like they might come back into town and be like, oh, let's go to that house that we lived in for a couple years.
Yeah.
And then one day I'll just come home and there'll be people in my house. Blah.
Don't like it. Do not like it. But yeah, your event was good and you raised money for shelter animals.
Yep. And it was very fun. Everybody had a good time. Everybody clapped and laughed and hugged and cried and was friends.
Good job.
And my Uber was $150 to get home.
Oh, that's egregious.
It was a little outrageous.
You have I literally, listen, you have made it so I never even want to hear about fucking potatoes ever again, but here we are.
Here we are.
You made Starch Madness.
I did a potato poll on Twitter. It ends this Friday. It's our last matchup. We're going into our final four tomorrow.
We have to tell people that don't have Twitter, he made a freaking bracket with all different potatoes. And then we have had live votes on Twitter and it's been crazy.
It has been really crazy.
I know.
Some of the matchups, people were really mad about me because I put like big hitters against each other in the first round. Like I put like baked potato against like French fries and people were like, this is a first round?
Yeah, that's too hard. Those are like favorites.
You got to fall. Some people got to fall away. But anyway, I figured it out last night. So far in the polls, there have now been over 8,000 votes cast.
Oh my God, about a fucking potato.
We've driven some people totally insane.
Yeah,
like there are warring factions of which is the best potato.
Yeah, there's like fucking campaign contributions to fucking certain types of potatoes.
So funny. Potatoes are supposed to bring us together, people.
I know, they will. Starch Madness.
Have you watched any movies on the Kanopy app?
Not yet. I showed Katie all of it, and I bookmarked a lot of movies. Yeah. And some just that are like my favorites that are hard to find sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
Just in case. Oh, another thing we didn't talk about yet because we haven't recorded in a million years was we did a WooPod and Friends live show on YouTube on March 1st and had awesome guests on and everybody was so happy. So if you didn't watch it yet, go on our YouTube. We had people hold up crazy stuff. Our guests, we had like movie writers, actors,
directors,
ghosty people, researchers. Who the fuck? Why can't I? Oh, music people.
Yeah, people were holding up things that they got from Steven Spielberg.
I know.
Eric Lang, who was on our live show, was very excited to show off stuff that he had stole from every movie he's ever been on.
He held up a prop from Lost.
I totally even forgot that he had been on Lost.
I didn't know. I didn't remember either. Yeah. And then Charlie held up the life-size model of the Eraserhead baby.
That's a key.
I know. I need one so bad.
I would love to see Toad's reaction to you having an Eraserhead baby.
He would eat it. Toad is the Eraserhead baby. Shrieks all day long and drives me crazy.
So funny.
Every time we have one, I'm like, how are we going to beat that one? So I guess we'll have to see what happens next time, but they're all good.
They're all good.
They're all the coziest times, and everybody's so happy to see each other and meet each other and talk about each other's projects.
I've told you before, I think that we've said on phone calls to each other, like, I think my end goal is to just get all of our friends to work on one big project together.
Yeah, won't be that hard.
Nope.
I'm going to get real random with it right now because I read a really cute thing and you're really going to like it.
Okay.
Okay, though I hope I say this right. The Worcester Public Library in Massachusetts announced that people who have lost or damaged books can bring in a photo, drawing, or magazine clipping of a cat and get their library cards reactivated. The library calls the program March Meowness. Okay. A way to forgive members who misplaced a book or damaged or borrowed an item. The program has generated hundreds of returns, multiple postings of random cats. They have a cat wall. About 400 people have had their library accounts unblocked and their privileges to take out books restored. They said any cat will do, or even better, any creature we will take on. Pictures of honorary cats. Basically any ungovernable animal will do. That's so cute.
It's very funny.
I know. Good job, Public Library of Massachusetts.
Good job. March Meowness. I think the longest I ever had a book overdue was like 22 years.
Yeah, if you have it that long, it's yours. They're not, that's crazy that they're even getting some back. I wonder how old the oldest one that came back was.
Probably pretty old. I think I ended up buying a copy and then returning the copy I bought because I had lost the copy I'd never returned.
Yeah, I would want the old ass one too anyway. I'd be like, here's the new one. Just take the new one.
Yeah.
I like an old shitty book.
Sorry, Royal Oak Public Library, for keeping a book for 20 years.
Netflix has a newer doc too called The Program. It's called The Program: Cons, Cults, and Kidnapping. It's not really about a cult. It kind of is, but it's kind of not. It's about
It's about like a school, isn't it?
yeah, it's about like these reform schools that people send their kids away to that have like no accreditation, no like trained teachers, no trained mental health professionals. They're basically putting their kid in a jail in the middle of nowhere. This one was in upstate New York, and some of the like survivors who went there are like on a mission to, you know, get the word out because these places are still running, and they want like the people who were responsible punished because nobody's ever been punished. And like some of the kids were there for years and they had like barely any food. They couldn't go outside.
Yeah, I read a little article about it, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong because I didn't watch the doc.
Yeah.
But like when they went back to their closed school, like they ended up finding surveillance videotapes and documents and like all the incriminating evidence they need was just sitting there.
Yeah, it was literally all in the building. Like the building closed fucking yesterday, which is like so like flagrant of the people who did it. Like obviously they think they're completely 100% above the law and they didn't give a fuck about getting rid of any of that. It's all just sitting there. And there was like straight up videos of them throwing kids around a room. And then one of the boys that was in the doc was like, yeah, the fucked up part about this is these are the camera rooms. Wait till they bring you in the no camera room. And there's no footage of that. Obviously, it's in the fucking name there. He's like, that's when you, and they would, there's different schools around our country and then other countries too. And they were showing it in some of the ones, they had like literally solitary confinement rooms with like not even a bed and nothing. And they would lock the kids in there for freaking weeks.
Yeah, super crazy.
It was nuts. I don't know how. And like a lot of people are like no longer with us. Like a lot of the kids like never got over it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, they're looking for justice for them. But the doc was like so well done. It's a 3-part doc. It's like a quick watch. It's obviously hard to watch, but like the girls are so badass in it. Like there's a few different times where they get some of the ex-workers on the phone and they just fucking rip them. They say all the best stuff. And then there's some other like, I'm not going to ruin it, but there's some other like, fuck yeah parts. Like the people, some of the people responsible for this are not going to be able to just walk around anymore. Like,
right.
I think they definitely accomplished at least part of what they set out to do, but now it's like holding them legally responsible.
Yeah, it's always stuff like that has always weirded me out. Like I know that education is like a touchy subject for a lot of people, whether you should send kids to public school or private school or whatever like that. But like when you start getting into like unaccredited, non-regulated programs,
yeah,
shit gets fucking weird real fucking fast. Because you're just literally opening up a building, putting a bunch of normies into it.
Right.
And then your kid is gone for a year with these people that you don't know, and they're not monitored or accredited or anything like that. Like that's insane.
And they have them all brainwashed in this way where they're like, you have to complete these steps or you're never leaving here. Like it's like a graduation system, and there's certain things that they're allowed to do and not do. And if you do anything wrong, it sets you back to zero. So they don't want to fuck up, even though it's barely fucking up. They don't want to do any of these things. And one of the steps is don't tell your parents that you want to fucking come home or it sets you back to zero. So they never fucking said anything.
Right.
And then you have that thing that me and you have talked about before where like, I know some people know what we're talking about, where like your parents are nuts and they don't take like responsibility for anything that they've ever done to you, right? And instead of literally just sitting there and saying, I know I fucked up and I'm fucking sorry, that's literally all you need to say.
Yeah.
They will say, well, I didn't know better. I was taken advantage too. I didn't know. And now you're making me feel like shit because I did this. Like, no, don't do that. You're making it worse. Don't do that. like the parents, some of them at least, were just like so not taking responsibility for what they played a part in. Like, regardless of if you got mind washed into sending your kid there, you still did it, and you need to feel guilty about that, and you need to take responsibility for it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of, again, I didn't watch the documentary, but I am assuming that a lot of parents thought that, like, if their kids went to that school when they were done, they could then go to college. But then since it's not an accredited school, like, they don't have any credit for going anywhere. Like, it's worthless.
No, they got a weird diploma, but it didn't fucking mean anything. No.
Yeah, it's like if you listen to all the episodes of Realm of the Weird, I send you a degree in weirdology.
Yeah.
Like, that's all, it's just a piece of paper that somebody wrote down on.
And these are like kids that were as young as I think like 11 through to like age 18. So all of those years that you were supposed to be in school, you have no learning whatsoever because they were in this weird fucking building in the middle of nowhere.
So weird. Really quickly, since we're talking about unaccredited degrees,
Mm-hmm.
if you ever see someone who's a doctor of metaphysics,
Yeah.
a doctor of divinity, psychic, metaphysical counselor, those are all unaccredited degrees. Those are all degrees that you can just buy for like $500.
Yeah.
So like sometimes I'll see people at events and they'll be like, Dr. So-and-so with my PhD in metaphysics. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
No. Well, it's like the parapsychology too. Isn't there only one accredited parapsychology school in the whole world? Or
I
like,
think so right now. I think there's only, I think in Scotland, I think that you can get a degree in parapsychology. You used to be able to get one at Kennedy University in Florida. And I think the only person that actually graduated out of that program is the researcher Lloyd Auerbach. And so he calls himself Professor Paranormal because he's like the only person that actually got the degree and went through the whole program.
Yeah.
They stopped giving away that degree or doing that degree.
Well, lots of people do say that and have that in their bio that they're parapsychologists. It's like, no, you're not. You don't. There's only one, and we know you didn't go there.
Right. Well, in 92, so when I got ordained through a Presbyterian church in Berkeley. So I have the title of Reverend. And then they asked me, like, do you want to take this test for your doctorate of divinity, which I think cost me $50. So I took that. So legally, my title is the Reverend Dr. John E.L. Tenney.
That's a lot.
But I'm not going to fucking say I'm a doctor.
Oh, no, you're not.
No. I did at certain times in my life. When I was trying to give myself some legitimacy, I would sometimes write to newspapers and put Reverend Dr. John Tenney.
That's outrageous.
And they would print my letters.
I'll never do that again. Reverend Dr. Tothathan J.
We could get, there are people who send away to unaccredited institutions to get their animals' degrees. We could get Toad a doctorate.
But yeah, the doc was crazy. It's called The Program. Again, if you guys missed it, because people, and again, this is another time for me to say everything we talk about is in the synopsis under the podcast. Just look at it if you need to know what I'm talking about. But want to hear another crazy true crime? You know, I've said it before and I'll say it again on here. I've watched every true crime thing under the sun. It takes a very special little nugget of information to make me go, oh, that's a new one. That's one I haven't heard before, and I got a new one.
All right, let's hear your new one.
Okay, so I knew about how obviously like cops can confiscate your phone and see every fucking thing you did and every text you sent and all your location settings and blah, blah, blah. And even if you fucking deleted it, it's still in there and you're fucked. I already knew all that, right? But here's the new one. I was watching a true crime thing the other day and they were like, they said that they looked up the app log, which is a log of all your fucking apps in your phone, and your flashlight in your phone is considered an app. And this guy had his flashlight app on for 40 minutes in the middle of the fucking night when he was burying a body in the woods, and they got him off the fucking flashlight being on for 40 minutes in the middle of the night.
Wow, that's a good one.
I know. I never thought about that. Like the apps.
It's a good one.
I know. I was shook. Can you imagine? Like you did everything quote unquote right to be a murderer, and then you're like, I used my fucking phone flashlight for 40 minutes and now I'm going to jail forever.
What did I just watch? I saw a thing on YouTube because I was watching YouTubes about old-timey machines and things that people don't use anymore. And this one guy was talking about, and I have one. This is the whole reason I was watching it. So I have a handheld cassette tape eraser. It's a giant electromagnet. You press a button and it'll erase everything on a cassette tape.
Yeah.
And obviously they don't make them anymore because who has cassette tapes? You don't need those anymore. But I was thinking to myself, like, because you and I are the way we are, like, You could carry that around in your car. And if like the police were going to take your phone, you could fucking zap your phone and it would just fry your SIM card, everything in your phone, nothing. And then be like, yeah, there, go ahead, take my phone.
Do you think that would work?
Yeah.
Okay, I do think that would maybe work for like the internal memory, but like if you're connected to the cloud, then
Yeah, for sure. If you're on the cloud, you're fucked.
you're fucked. Also, a thing that's, I'm sure this is pretty obvious, but a thing that a lot of people forget about too is their OnStar in their car. And like, even if you're not an active paying subscriber of OnStar, I still think they got your ass, like your where you've been, like your location.
Oh yeah, it's still working because OnStar, whether you have it or not, still works for 911.
Yeah.
Which means it's still tracking something.
Yeah. Don't do crimes.
Don't commit murder, people.
Don't do murders. Don't get caught.
But if you do, take a handful of cigarette butts from somewhere before you go.
But if you do, next time you're at the barbershop, pick up all the hair and throw it all over your house.
Throw it all over the place.
This has been Murder Tips.
Nope.
Oh, I watched a bunch of weird fucking old movies the other day. Older. I watched Earth Girls Are Easy. You've seen that?
I have.
Oh, that movie's so good.
Saw it in the movie theater.
So flawless. For you guys who have never seen Earth Girls Are Easy, it's Gina Davis.
Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, this movie's from 1988. Basically, she's an alien spaceship lands in her pool, and who gets out is Jeff Goldblum, Jim Carrey, and Damon Wayans. And they look crazy at first. They're like hairy aliens, but then she fixes her friend, gives them a makeover, and they're all so freaking cute. And Jeff Goldblum is like the hottest person who ever lived in that movie. So good. It's so silly. It's such a ridiculous movie. And the beginning credits are so fucking good.
Can I put you on another one if you're going to do that?
Well, maybe I already watched it in the same day as that one, but go ahead.
Well, go ahead. Tell me your other ones and I'll jump in.
Oh, you go first.
Did you watch Vibes yet?
No, but it's on my watch list. That's the psychic one with Cyndi Lauper, right?
Cyndi Lauper and Jeff Goldblum, psychics.
Listen, it's been on my watch list for so long and I didn't watch it yet. I have to watch it. Maybe it's on Kanopy.
It might be. It probably is.
And then I watched, this was like this was, I think, in the span of 3 days, actually. So I watched Earth Girls Are Easy. Then I watched Frankenhooker, which is literally a flawless movie, too. So good. I have never wanted to do a cosplay before, and now I want to do a Frankenhooker cosplay real bad.
Go for it.
But you have to be the doctor.
Ugh.
But anyway, you guys, if you have never seen Frankenhooker, it's basically exactly how it sounds. A guy's wife dies by getting run over by a lawnmower. Yeah. Then he gets the idea to put her back together with the body parts of dead prostitutes.
Pretty good.
It's so good. It's so good. And it's so funny. And she's flawless and she makes the craziest faces. And it obviously inspired Poor Things and a lot of the faces that Emma Stone makes in Poor Things. Now I watch Hackers. Do you remember Hackers?
I have. I haven't seen it in decades.
It was actually pretty sick. I think it holds up.
Is that a Matthew Illard joint?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Robert Redford?
Robert Redford?
Is he in Hackers?
No! He wouldn't be caught near Hacker. Fucking Fisher Stevens is in it.
Fisher Stevens. Yeah, okay. What am I thinking about with Robert Redford?
I don't know. The guy from Trainspotting's in it, Johnny Lee Miller, and Angelina Jolie's in it. It's good though. The effects are real silly for like the year we're in now, so it looks kind of silly,
Right.
but I liked it. And they're on rollerblades a lot.
Sneakers.
What is Sneakers?
Sneakers is a Robert Redford like movie about, I think, like hacking or spying or something like that.
Oh.
It's got like River Phoenix in it and Dan Aykroyd and Robert Redford and
It's called Sneakers.
yeah.
That's a terrible name. Mm,
Is Hackers? Wait, you said Angelina Jolie?
yeah.
There's a lot of 90s looking outfits in that movie, if I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
correctly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thus the rollerblades. Yeah. Crazy hair, crazy makeup.
Yeah,
That's perfect. Then the last one I watched was Re-Animator, 1985.
perfect film.
Flawless. Why were movies so fun?
I don't know, but
Scene in Re-Animator where he throws a head in a hallway and it like bounces off the wall. Oh yeah, and then we were talking about, because I talked to you on the phone after I watched it, and I'm like, Tenney, I want to make that green shit. How do we make that green shit?
and I was like, oh, it's just the green stuff out of the glow sticks.
I want to make some.
You just snap a glow stick and cut it open.
I don't know. I was thinking they made like some kind of liquid and then they made like a light in the.
I mean, you could do that too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But if you've already got glow stick liquid, like, you might as well just go with glow stick liquid. Have you ever seen From Beyond?
Yeah, but not in a long time. I gotta rewatch it.
Rewatch that. So if you just rewatched Re-Animator, watch From Beyond, because it's, like basically the same guy, kind of based on an H.P. Lovecraft story. There's a machine up in the attic that lets you see a different dimension. But of course, since it's that era of movies, not only does it make you see another dimension, it increases your libido and sex drive like 900%.
Bro, I was just talking to one of my tattoo clients the other day. I got on talking about Billy Zane because I have a fucking problem, and I was talking about Blood and Concrete, the weird movie that I'm obsessed with of his. And the basis of that is that like there's some weird drug dealer and he's looking for sex pills that they made up, and everybody goes crazy and they need these sex pills. Like, what was everybody's issue in the 80s and 90s with like libido pills?
Yep.
So funny.
I watched a Kanopy movie. I rewatched, because I haven't seen it probably since it came out. I watched 24-Hour Party People. It's all about like England in the 80s and Joy Division and the Happy Mondays and
Oh, yeah.
that whole scene.
You
And
feel
although
that?
it's kind of a dark comedy,
Mhm.
it's Joy Division, so it's going to end up not being very happy.
Yeah, yeah.
It was okay.
Did you put on eyeliner?
I didn't, but now I've been singing Joy Division for 3 days.
Listen, in this chaos of me talking about these movies that I've been watching, one of the days, Grease 2 was on. I fucking love Grease 2. This is so embarrassing, but I almost love Grease 2 more than I like Grease 1, and that's like a bold ass statement. That's some Starch Madness making bold potato
Right.
shit right there. But there's the songs in Grease 2 get in my head so bad, and I swear since I watched it, there's like a few songs I'm like, oh my god, I'm singing Grease 2 in my head again. It won't leave my head, but I love it. Did I tell you the fucking guy in Grease 2? I think, did I say it on here? I don't remember. The guy who's in Grease 2 and the guy that was in Empire Records, the fucking, what's his name? No, I think I told Katie. Rex Manning Rex Manning in
Okay.
Empire Records. He got married to another actress lady who's like 20 something years older than him when he was like 21 years old, and they're still together.
Well, good for them.
It's crazy. I never knew that. Like, you know how I deep dive shit when I watch it, and I was like, they look crazy at first though, because he's like a brand new in Hollywood. He looks like a baby, and she looks older. And now it looks kind of normal now because he's like 60 and she's like 80, but it's still.
Well, good for them. Good for them.
For them.
I've only ever seen Grease 2 once, and again, it was in the movie theater.
Well, like, I don't think anyone has ever been prettier than Michelle Pfeiffer is in that movie.
She's pretty cute in that movie.
She's so cute, and she does her own singing in that movie. That's crazy too.
Oh, that's pretty crazy too.
You want to know another weird thing? When I was looking at, I think it was when I was deep diving all these movies that I'm talking about, but I ran across a weird thing all through my growing up. I don't fucking know why, but I was like obsessed with Kindergarten Cop. Like, I love that movie. I probably watched that movie 200 times. The budget for that movie was $15 million. Do you want to know how much it made globally?
How much did Kindergarten Cop make globally?
$201 million.
We lived in a different world.
Oh, do you know how much money that is now for 15 to 201? That's like spending like whatever that's like what, 30 million to make like $500 million.
Yeah, it's crazy. I talked about on my 1010 Tenney in like the late 1960s, maybe even the early 1970s. It was right before Tolkien died. He sold all of the rights for Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit for $250,000.
Oh,
Jesus Christ.
you gotta keep that like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, just the artistic rights and
no,
stuff.
like 1%, whatever, equity, something.
Yeah.
Like one little, you gotta keep a something like that you get in perpetuity. You can't know bad decisions. But you know what? Some people, we talk about it, some people don't gobble up money like other people do. If that was as much as he wanted and he was happy, then fuck it.
Yeah, that's true. And it's not like when he sold it for $250, I mean, it's not as bad as it sounds, because he sold like movies, TV, soundtracks, and like book rights.
Yeah.
And so now since that time, like the Tolkien estate had to renegotiate like streaming, internet, all of that stuff.
True.
So I'm sure they're fine.
Yeah.
I think they're better than me. I thought I heard a ghost yesterday. It was just my porch falling apart and hitting my house.
I know people were sending me like enhanced audio versions of the noise you heard. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
I mean, it's not in the house. It's just, I knew. So I went out and looked this afternoon. It was just a peach.
It was a peach.
It was a peach. It wasn't a ghost. It was a peach.
Wait, that would be weird because we know you only have potatoes and oatmeal in your house. So it's a peach.
It's almost weirder than a ghost. Where'd this fucking peach come from?
Where the fuck is the peach?
We're done.
I know, I'm crying.
If that's where we've gotten to.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, Dr. Reverend John L. Tenney, the peach. The mystery peach. That is the longest book title.
Professor Toady Monk, PhD, with his Doctor of Boneology.
You're a doctor of boneology. Oh, we didn't talk about Win a Date on here yet.
Oh, go ahead.
If you guys remember last year, we did Win a Date with John Tenney, where people bought tickets and then we would fly them here or we would fly him there and they could hang out and do anything. Well, not do anything, but
Boneology.
Dr. Boneology. They could go do stuff. And anyway, so our winner last year chose to come here instead of us go there. And we did all the fun things and there was a Patreon video, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, the new contest is up, which is technically Win a Date with Jessica, but
I and Toad will also be there.
Yes, Toad and Tenney will also be there. So yeah, the winner will get flown or we'll give you gas money to come here and we'll put you up in a nice hotel. And anything that we do, we will pay for it. And it'll be great. And your dream can come true and you can hang out with us and talk about nonsense.
Yep. Win a Date with Jessica and John and Toad.
And John and Toad in parentheses. So yeah, it goes from now till about April, like the morning of April 19th is when I would cut it off. And then we will announce a winner on a YouTube live show on the evening of April 19th. So you have about a month.
About a month to buy tickets to win your date with America's favorite party girl.
Oh, Lord. America's girl who sits at home and watches weird movies all day.
You'll win a date with America's favorite girl who will leave the house to go on this date, but otherwise does not leave her house.
Yep, that is it. And a portion of the proceeds will go to I Heart Dogs Rescue and Animal Haven in Warren, Michigan, where we got Toda Fur from. And yeah, it'll be. Oh, and another thing that I said we could do. This is why I wanted to do it now, is because Patreons know, but we did this silly Patreon video of us at our favorite church rummage sale that we go to. Remember we had the episode on here where we said that we stole from it, and then I had to send a check to the church because it stole. Anyway, so the yearly rummage sale is coming up soon, and we're drawing the winner before then. So I thought if you win and you want to come to the rummage sale with us, that'd be like WooPod things inside of WooPod things, and you could do the things that we talked about.
It's like breaking the fourth wall 5 or 6 times.
Exactly. We could all steal. No, I'm just kidding. We're not stealing. We're not going to steal again. We have since went to the same sale and we did not steal.
That is true. But if people want tickets, they can go to the Linktree link that's in the bio.
Oh yeah. Under this podcast episode, there'll be a link, or you go to linktree.com/whatsupweirdo. And there's the ticket link. There's our Patreon link. There's our YouTube link. There's our Instagram. There's our fucking all the information you could ever need in your whole life.
All right. I'm all done.
I know. I am too. The Bachelor starting in 13 minutes.
All right. We'll get to your Bachelor.
Oh, this might be the overnights.
Ooh.
Yeah. There's only a couple episodes left.
That's when you become a doctor of boneology.
Bachelor, doctor of boneology.
Those overnights, which I'm convinced most of the time are just like sloppy hand jobs.
I know. I don't think they all do it.
Yeah.
Some of them definitely do, but I also think it backfires sometimes because I think the people that do, it doesn't go so well and then they get dumped.
That's what I mean. I think that they do those, like they have those overnights and they always go out for dinner and drinks beforehand. And then like that night, someone gets like a dusty rub and it's just over from that point forward.
Like, this is not what I had imagined for us.
All right, I'm done. Dusty rub's taking me out.
You're so stupid. All right, good job. We did it.
Good job, buddy.
Good job, buddy.
I will talk to you in like a month.
No, probably sooner because we have a podcast together. It's called What's Up Weirdo. We're best friends. You said you were gonna give me a best friend award, so
I wait with bated breath. It was supposed to come on Thursday. I fucking literally got you an Oscar that says best friend. And then it got lost in the fucking mail.
I know, so cute. You said on your live show last night that you ordered me an Oscar to give me so that you could present it to me on Oscar night. That's so pure.
That's because you're my good buddy.
You're my good buddy too.
All right, I'm done with you though.
All right, fuck off.
Okay, fuck you.
Fuck you.
Okay, bye.
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 Bye. Gross.